Welcome back to another edition of Chat in the Hat. Today I need to address the question of, is it okay for a Christian to celebrate Halloween? And that's a good question. And I have a few things to say on that. But first, I have to tell you a Halloween story. And see, me and my brother and cousin. My brother and my cousin, they were 1 year older than I was. And they always did things together, and I would tag along. Although a lot of times they ditched me, or they would leave without me. But most of the time I could try to catch in there and go with them. And we went Halloweening 1 year, and we went to a particular house. And we went in there, and this is what happened. So we go to the door and knock, and this little old lady comes to the door, and she says, "Well, you guys look really cute, but I've run out of candy. But if you give me your baskets, I've got an apple, and I will cut it up into 3 pieces and give each of you an apple since I'm out of candy." Well, listen, we were just grade schoolers, but we knew better than that, and that was our candy. And there was no way we were giving her our bag of candy, especially when she just told us she was out of candy. And so we were good without her apple, and so we said no thanks and started leaving. "You can't leave. I have this apple, and I'm going to cut it up into 3 pieces. Give me your bags, and I will get the apple for you." And to which we again declined. Well, my brother and my cousin, they kind of left, and as I started to leave, she grabs the bag. And we have this wrestling match. And I realized they've just left me. Again, they just took off and left me. It's a wonder I grew up to be an adult with those two, because they left me all the time. But after a quick jerk, I got out of there and we ran away. And we still had our treasure. We still had our candy. Well, that story might be embellished just a little bit, and my brother and cousin may not have taken off, as I said, but a version of that really did happen. But when I think about that, what I see and what I remember, we call memories, and they're good memories. So, there's a couple things to look at if you think, should I celebrate Halloween, especially with my kids? Well, the first thing you have to answer is, do you feel guilty inside? I mean, is this to you a thing of conscience? Because to be quite honest, if you believe it is wrong and you do it, the Bible says that's a sin, because anything that is not of faith is sin. So if in your heart you believe it to be wrong and you do it even though you feel it is wrong, then that's not of faith, and for you that is a sin. You should not do it. So that's plain and simple. If you feel it's wrong, don't do it. But if you just don't know, and you think, your kids don't live in a bubble and they know all the friends are going, and so how do you handle this? Well, you want to handle it in a way that's Christian. If it's against your conscience, I would recommend that you find another way to celebrate with your children, because they know their friends are going out to have Halloween. So you want to build good memories, good traditions, so that they have a replacement for that, where they don't feel like they're being left out of something, but they will replace something that was good and that they liked. And as they grow up, you want those to be traditional memories that they want to do with their children. And so, you can have them even dress up as Bible characters, or find some way to celebrate and have a Christian or fall festival your own, to let them celebrate, where it's a good memory, good experience. Now, for those of you who celebrate and think, I don't sure, but I think it's okay and I'm going to do it. There's a couple cautions here, okay? When we were kids, the thing of Snoopy and, Charlie Brown with the sheets and making ghost outfits. Well, that was really a thing. When we grew up, we very seldom bought costumes at the store. We usually always made them, and quite honest, just a old white sheet. Hey, that's all you needed to be a ghost. And if that's what you had, that's what you did. And part of the fun back in that day was making your own costume. But there wasn't scary things. I mean, you had mummies and you had, monster Frankenstein monsters and those things, but they looked like you should see on a child. They were just funny. And I went as a pirate a couple times, but those sort of things. You want to keep it in a realm where it's not weird or sick, you know. And so if you take your kids, well, you want to remember this. Mummies aren't real, monsters aren't real, ghosts aren't real. And so as your kids dress up, you make it fun and you make them realize, hey, these are not real. But there are things that are real that are a danger. So like, when you get into things like Ouija boards and New Age religion, those things, well, you start seeing that there are evil spirits out there. And when you court things like Ouija boards and New Ageism, I think New Age religion, they court these spirit guides and all those things. Well, you're courting a world that's really dark, and it's a world that will really destroy people. It brings darkness upon their lives, and you want to keep your kids from that. So as they grow up, well, you need to educate them. Not in a scary way, but as they grow, you start teaching them, okay, this is okay, this is good, this you need to stay away from, and this is why. Just something to think about.